Tonight on 2020, September 7th, 2007.
Police on the ground.
Millions watched it happen. Suspected pedophiles falling into a trap set by police and NBC's Chris Hansen.
Am I under arrest?
But now 2020 turns the cameras around to investigate some explosive charges. Have police crossed the line to catch a predator? And now, John Stossel and Elizabeth Vargas.
Hello and welcome to 2020. It's riveting television, the sight of alleged pedophiles being caught in a sting, cornered, thrown to the ground and cuffed. It's all part of a popular NBC series, but now there are serious questions about what goes on behind the scenes.
Whose sting was this? The police departments or the vigilantes hired by Dateline? Chief investigative correspondent Brian Ross looks into that tonight as he takes you inside a highly publicized police operation. Were police after sexual predators or fame?
Located on the rural outskirts of Dallas, Murphy, Texas is a quiet family place, rarely in the news. Until last year. Until the town's police chief announced he was declaring war on sexual predators.
He said this will put the city of Murphy on the map.
And it certainly did.
You ever watch Dateline NBC?
As the Murphy police agreed to work with Dateline NBC to set up a sting house aimed at catching alleged sexual predators for the latest installment of NBC's hugely popular series.
To Catch a Predator. It all takes place in an upscale home in Murphy, Texas.
Yeah, that's our guy. That's Randy.
As 6 other police departments around the country had done before, the Murphy, Texas police made a deal with Dateline, not only to allow NBC cameras to record the sting,
Police department, get on the ground!
but also, to the astonishment of the local district attorney, the Murphy police let people hired by Dateline actually set up and run the sting.
The police department, the professionals, weren't in control of the entire operation. They weren't calling the shots, somebody else was.
District Attorney John Roach says his office warned the Murphy police in advance, in writing, it was a bad idea. Where in the law enforcement business, not show business, reads the letter.
We considered that a shot over the bow, a warning that this was not going to be a good idea.
Did you think it was case closed then, when you sent that letter?
I hoped it was case closed.
Police on the ground now!
But the Murphy police went ahead with NBC Dateline anyway, even ignoring the protest of local residents who didn't want their town used as a place to lure sexual predators.
Why did they have to bring him to our neighborhood? On the ground.
By the time it was over, 23 men were arrested in the sting, all but 2 from outside Murphy, as seen in 2 dramatic primetime hours broadcast on NBC.
Of course, we at ABC News and 2020 often work closely ourselves with law enforcement authorities in the course of investigating a story, developing leads, or following police action on the street. And a number of stories I've done, most recently a report on internet scams from Nigeria, have led to criminal prosecutions of crooks we tracked down.
You're the chief I talked to on the phone?
But the Dateline Murphy, Texas project has come under fire from many in law enforcement and the media as a classic case of what can go wrong, tragically wrong, when the news media and the police get just too close.
Condition is great.
1 man is dead, NBC is being sued for millions, and charges have been dropped against every single person arrested in the Murphy sting.
The sting operation left a trail of destruction in the community of Murphy. It shattered lives, it shattered careers.
As Murphy police detectives, Sam Love and Walt Weiss played a big role in the operation.
Did you intend to have sex with her?
Both men were seen on the program interrogating suspects, at times, they say, following directions from the Dateline producers.
They said, you know, when you have a guy sitting there, keep him facing you, try to keep him from covering his face up.
Love and Weiss have since quit the force in disgust and have come forward to reveal how they say Dateline's production requirements, including officers wearing hidden TV cameras to get shots like this, became more important than proper police procedure.
By God, when they wanted the camera in place, it was there. When they wanted certain things carried out that made it easier for them to put the television show together, by God, that problem was addressed. But the criminal cases were secondary. There was nothing wrong with having a sting operation in Murphy. There's nothing wrong with putting a child sexual predator behind bars. but you can't do it sloppily. You can't do it recklessly.
Are you still serious about coming over here? Or?
The sting began with people called decoys trolling Texas chat rooms on the internet for Dateline.
Posing as young teens waiting to be hit on by an adult looking for sex with a minor.
The decoys are provided by a self-styled citizen watchdog group called Perverted Justice, which, according to published reports, is paid as much as $100,000 per episode by Dateline. On its website, Perverted Justice claims responsibility for the convictions of more than 200 alleged sexual predators, and it also sells its own line of Perverted Justice clothing, including a thong with the words, "Contents aged at least 18 years." Many in law enforcement say the police have no business working with such vigilante groups.
Absolutely not. That would never happen in the NYPD.
Retired New York Police Detective James Doyle, who helped to set up the NYPD Internet Crime Squad, says he routinely turned down offers from similar citizen vigilante groups.
It was presented to me. I said, no, sorry, we will do our job as law enforcement and develop our own probable cause for search warrants.
So you didn't want to lose control of your case then?
Brian, that is it exactly, is who's in control. It's my case. It's a law enforcement case. I will dictate the stages of the investigation and how they proceed.
You can have her open the door with the cat and try and wave him in.
But in Murphy, Texas, the Dateline and Perverted Justice personnel are clearly deeply involved in the operation.
Affirmative. Yeah, we got a lot of guys due right around now.
Perverted Justice's so-called operations director, known as Frag, manned the command center at the house,
That's our boy, Shavad A. Muhammad.
identifying suspects for both NBC and the police.
I think this is, hold on, this could be Chris C.
Dateline has hired this
Actors hired by Dateline posed as the underage teens, standing in the doorway, urging the often reluctant suspects to come inside.
You're going to have to come over here.
The Texas District Attorney says this was all for show, with no real law enforcement purpose.
The offenses had already been committed under Texas law. They didn't have to come to the house. Under our law, if you solicit a minor online, it doesn't make any difference whether you show up or not.
So how are you?
Once inside, the actors excuse themselves, and NBC News correspondent Chris Hansen emerges to question the suspects.
What's happening? Or what?
With often amazing, pathetic results.
Where was this headed?
I'm out of my mind. I just can't believe it.
Well, explain to me. Help me to understand.
I
what
can't,
happened.
because there is no reason. That I can't give you any.
The Texas District Attorney says, while it may have made for good television, it raises serious legal questions.
If NBC is an agent of the police, and we all know these fellows are not going to be allowed to walk away without being arrested, are they already arrested? And if they are, and if NBC is acting as the agent for the police, then those fellows are entitled to their Miranda warnings. And anything they say while they're in custody without having those warnings aren't admissible in evidence against them.
In case after case, Hansen waits until the very end of his interviews to identify himself as a reporter. Some of the suspects appear to think he might be a police officer.
Am I under arrest?
Not right now.
Well, can I leave?
Well, I have some more questions for you first.
I'm leaving.
You start saying that you can't talk to 13-year-olds. Wait a minute.
I'm gonna.
You talk about being a predator. Well, before you leave, I want to tell you one thing.
No, sir.
I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC. And
Once the alleged predators left their encounter with Hansen, a Murphy Police Department team was waiting outside, guns drawn. Another needlessly dramatic and potentially dangerous step, according to the district attorney.
Well, it was certainly dangerous if you look at all the guns that were drawn and pointed in all kinds of different directions, including at other officers. Just the takedown and throwing the fellow to the ground and all of that. You know, most professionals don't do that sort of thing. That's the kind of thing that's done for the performance. It doesn't have anything to do with making the arrest. It's all in the performance, and I think that was really the thrust of the entire thing.
That is our sole purpose.
The Murphy, Texas city manager who approved the sting has now resigned, and the police chief, Billy Myrick, is facing heavy criticism.
ABC News.
Outside a recent city council meeting, Chief Myrick told 2020 he is proud of what he did and was not seeking fame for himself or his city.
I don't have any reason to put Murphy on the map because we're here to protect this community. We're here to enforce the law.
And he denied that NBC or Perverted Justice had control of his operation.
Sir, the television network did not take over the law enforcement operation in no shape, form, or fashion.
But the district attorney says they did, hopelessly compromising the evidence. Because the police were not involved in the early online chats, they had to rely on perverted justice, not their own detectives, to know what really happened, and to know if the perverted justice decoys might have gone too far to lure in the targets.
I got those other pictures, and let me tell you.
You don't have the full transcripts?
Well, I don't know. That's exactly part of my problem. The police department can't tell me whether or not I have the full transcripts.
Did your arresting officers, did they see the chats before they made the arrest?
In some cases, yes.
Did they see the entire chats?
Making it impossible, says District Attorney Roach, a judge for 20 years before his current job, to mount a successful prosecution.
How you doing, Stanley?
My back hurts.
That's why, months after millions of Dateline viewers watched the arrest of the 23 suspects in Murphy, the district attorney dismissed criminal charges against all of them.
Just because we hate what these guys do doesn't mean I get to break the rules. The rules are, if the evidence can't get this fellow convicted, then I can't bring a case against him.
On its website, Perverted Justice calls District Attorney Roach and his office inept and incompetent for failing to go after the accused sexual predators. Roach says he's not happy about it either.
People who prey on children are people we would like to put in our penitentiary. That's one of the reasons why this kind of an operation is a bad thing, because it can allow those kinds of people to escape for no other reason but for the fact that the cases can't be proved against them.
But that's far from the only problem that came up during the Dateline sting.
When 2020 returns, the Predator pursuit is about to take a deadly turn. With cameras rolling, a SWAT team targets the home of a prominent man.
And I'm ashamed to have been a part of it.
Next, 2020 on ABC. 2020 continues with Brian Ross.
Some 20 men showed up and were arrested as alleged sexual predators at a sting house set up by NBC Dateline in Murphy, Texas. But one man, one very prominent man, Dateline thought it had caught, did not show up. 56-year-old William Conrad, an assistant district attorney in a neighboring county.
He was a prosecutor. I mean, how juicy of a story is that?
The Dateline report makes it clear they knew they had caught someone very special.
This is the first time we've come across an assistant district attorney.
Assistant district attorney for Kaufman County.
Dateline tracked Conrad's allegedly lewd behavior for several weeks.
Whatever you'd like to do.
He's been chatting on the phone with an actor hired by Dateline and online with a decoy from Perverted Justice. And there's little doubt about what's on his mind.
He sent penis pictures.
Frag from Perverted Justice alerts police.
He got pretty sexual on the phone and it's recorded. We're chatting with him right now.
But by the final day of taping at the Sting House, Conrad had still failed to show up.
Hello?
Hey, is this Will?
Yeah.
Hey, Will, this is Luke. How are you?
Hey, how are you?
And Dateline had one of its actors, using the name Luke, call Conrad 3 different times to get him to walk into the trap.
Did you leave yet?
No.
You didn't leave yet?
No.
Are you going to come or not?
Yes, I shall.
Conrad pretended to be 19 years old, talking to an actor who was pretending to be 13 years old.
Well, when are you going to come over?
Well, a little later.
But Conrad did not take the bait, and the decision was made to go get him at his home in the nearby town of Terrell. The first time Dateline, in its 11 Catch a Predator episodes, had gone to a suspect's home. It was a decision that would lead to Bill Conrad's death and raise questions about why the rush to arrest him on a Sunday afternoon.
They could have arrested him in his office the next day or on his way to work the next day. I mean, they know who he is.
Former Murphy police officer Sam Love says the decision was made at the suggestion of NBC's Chris Hansen, a suggestion, he says, that was relayed to the command center from someone at the Sting House.
Their hope was that the man would come out to go to the store for something, or the church, or whatever, and Chris Hansen and his crew could confront him and interview him before the arrest is made. And then they would say, all right, go ahead and arrest him and execute the search warrant on the house.
NBC's own footage and unaired outtakes turned over to Texas authorities and provided to 2020 show Hansen and the NBC crew with the police as they were preparing for the arrest, starting with the police staging area at a nearby gas station. The police chief, as well as NBC, have since denied that Chris Hansen was involved in the decision to make the arrest.
Whoever is putting that information out is telling you or telling other sources an outright lie. That is not the way it was done. Chris Hansen never had direct control of anything in this aspect other than what his crews did out there. That was it.
Despite the outtakes, Chief Myrick even denied that NBC was close by.
Most of the time that we were down there, Chris Hansen was down the street from us standing by a car.
But Dateline's cameraman, producer, and Hansen can all be seen on the footage in front of the suspect's house with the police. And outtakes also show police apparently relying on Dateline's surveillance of the house and the suspect, asking Hansen, who is off camera, if the suspect is still inside.
But nobody's left the residence?
No.
Okay.
Police first knock at the door with cameras recording it all, but there is no answer. Then the outtakes show Hansen and Perverted Justice Operations Director, Frag, suggesting police call Conrad inside his home.
You know, we called him this morning on a fake call. We got the number. Somebody else calling there, trying to talk him out. See the answer? You got it on the thing still?
972 524 2849.
And how'd you get his phone number?
Probably from the local department.
You didn't get his phone number from Chris Hansen?
Well, I didn't get his phone number from Chris Hansen.
But look again at NBC's outtakes.
972 524.
Finally, a SWAT team from the Terrell Police Department is sent in to break down the door of Conrad's house. The police later claiming they were concerned he might destroy evidence on his computer.
Then we hear a faint crack as the officers force their way in.
They either came this way or they came through the
Conrad's
kitchen.
sister Patricia showed 2020 where police broke in and then headed down a hallway to the bedroom where her brother was waiting for police with a gun in his hand.
They come in, they see him, he says, guys, I'm not going to hurt anybody. And then he put the gun to his head and shot.
Police called in a helicopter for the critically injured suspect, but William Conrad died shortly after the helicopter landed at a Dallas hospital.
I understand that he took his own life, but I have a feeling that he took his own life when he looked out the door and saw there were a bunch of television cameras outside.
The two former Murphy detectives say many in their department shrugged off Conrad's death.
It didn't matter that that person died because he was just, in their opinion, a child molester or a pervert, if you will. I mean, it was pushed aside and shoved under the rug, and I'm ashamed to have been a part of it. I'm truly ashamed to have been a part of that.
Conrad's sister is now suing NBC, claiming the network's actions led to her brother's death.
Why sue them? Why not sue the police departments? They make the ultimate decision. Reporters can ask for a lot of things, but it's up to the police to say yes or no.
Well, but when you look at the outtakes, I think you look at who is in charge. It did not seem to be the law enforcement people. And my whole point in pursuing this is that these type of vigilante, out of control, reality, and it's not even reality. Yeah, it is perverted justice. It wasn't justice.
We want to update you tonight with...
No one from NBC News would agree to appear on our program, but in an update broadcast by Dateline just a few days ago, reporter Chris Hansen strongly defended Dateline's actions and said there was new evidence that offered a different explanation of Conrad's suicide.
Something like possession of child pornography.
And Hansen showed a Texas police report claiming the dead man had child pornography on his computer. The district attorney says none of that changes his position, that the case was handled badly.
If you want to entertain, that's okay. But you got to get the police work done first. That's what's important. The idea is to catch these guys and convict them under lawful, legal, admissible evidence. And it's the police department's responsibility to bring us that evidence. They're the investigative agency.
So they really dropped the ball here?
Yes, they did.
By going into business, essentially, with NBC and Perverted Justice.
That's exactly right. By giving up their role as professional law enforcement officers for a few minutes of TV time.
We'll be right back.